In chapter R.3, the first thing it goes over are exponents. And once we introduce exponents, we go into a discussion on the proper order of operations. So far, we've done addition and subtraction, multiplication of integers, and now we're going to introduce exponents and then go into how to do them properly. So an exponent simply means that if I have a number like a and I'm going to raise it to an exponent, we'll say 3, what that means is I'm multiplying a by itself three times. A times a times a is a to the third power. And let's evaluate an exponent just to see how it works. So let's take a look at the number 3 and let's raise it to the fourth power. What that means is 3 times 3 times 3 times one more 3 there. Boy, my last 3 didn't look too good. So that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 3 to the fourth power. Well, we know that 3 times 3 is 9. And now I have to multiply that 9 by this 3 up here, and that gives me a 27. And now I have to multiply that 27 by that 3 up there, and that'll give me an 81. So 3 to the fourth power is the same as saying 81. Let's take a look at another one. Let's try 2 to the fifth power. And that's like saying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So that's 4 times 2 times 2 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8 times 2 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16 times 2, and 16 times 2 is 32. So 2 to the fifth power is 32, and that's basically evaluating exponents. For a deeper discussion of exponents and some of the rules that we associate with exponents, I would take a look at the video for chapters R.7 and or 6.2. Now, with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at our order of operations. And you probably remember from your school days something called Pemdas. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And what Pemdas stands for is we're supposed to do parentheses first, then we do exponents, the last operation we just learned, and then we'll do multiplication and division, and then we'll do addition and subtraction. And while PEMDAS is a good mnemonic device for remembering your order of operations, it might be a little bit misleading. For instance, you might think you should need to do all the multiplication before you do the division, or all the addition before you do the subtraction, and really that's not the case. You want to take multiplication and division and then addition and subtraction in the order in which they occur from left to right. I like to look at this more like a silly little hopscotch thing, right? So first we're going to do our parentheses first, then we'll do our exponents, and then for me, multiplication and division are pretty much the same, right? Whichever one of those comes first, you're going to do them, and then the same for addition and subtraction. They're equal. So let's look at an example. Let's try 5 to the third power plus 20 times 40. plus 8 squared minus 29. Okay, so 5 to the third power plus 20 times 40 plus 8 squared minus 29. Well, let's take a look at our math, our order of operations hopscotch here and see what we need to do first. First, let's hop onto the first square. It says parentheses. I don't see any parentheses, so let's move on to the next one that says exponents. So we're supposed to do exponents first. Well, I have those 5 to the third power there and 8 squared there, so let's do those first. 5 to the third power is 125. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. Plus 20 times 40. Now plus this 8 to the second power is 64. 8 times 8 is 64. Minus 29. Okay, so the next step is to do either multiplication or division, whichever comes first from left to right. That's addition, so we won't do that one. Here we go. We have to do this one here. So that's 20 times 40 is 800. So that's 125 plus 800 plus 64 minus 29. We'll go ahead now and add and subtract from left to right. So first is 125 plus 800, so that's 925 plus 64 minus 29. And then those two will be 989. Is that right? 9, 2 is 8, 5, and 4 is 9. Minus 29. And 989 minus 29 is 960. So that's an application of our order of operations.